everyone, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. If this is your first time clicking onto this video or any video from Unicorn Light Tarot from me, then welcome. If you are returning and have been here for a while, welcome. If you are a fairly new subscriber, welcome one and all. Today we have a fabulous reading for you. We are doing what will you say no to in this November, right? So we're going to be talking about, it's a cleansing reading, putting your energy first reading, healing through boundaries reading. Even though this is set for the month of November 2021, this is a timeless reading because this is all about getting your power back. Not that you don't have it already, but like just really pulling it back and putting up those boundaries and figuring out what you want and really going for it. So it's going to be a kick-ass reading in that way. And we have these really fun spiritual as F cards to work with today. But again, as we said, it's a little bit of fun reading today. So regardless of when you click onto it, I know it says November, it will be a timeless reading, but we do have the new moon coming up, which will be tomorrow after this is uploaded. So we do have the new moon in Scorpio that's coming in on the 4th of November. And then we have this beautiful portal, the 11th of November, which is 11/11. That's going to be a really, really intense portal. So it's going to be a great reading for really deliberating where your energy is, where you're giving your energy away, how to pull it back, what to do, really putting your roots down as to what it is that you want and really truly going for it in any way, shape, or form. We have our magic candle here today. This is yellow candle for communication to your higher self, to your guides, to whomever it is, to the universe to bring in your dreams. So as always, we have 3 piles. Now, each of these piles has the correct amount or the same amount of oracle cards. I've just put different oracle cards on top, but they're not different. They have the same number of cards and everything. So you can differentiate between each one of them. So pile 1 has the Moonology deck here, and then we have the Cosmos reading here, and then we have Soul Coaching reading here. So choose based on whatever it is that's calling to you, the colors, the motif, the energy of it, the visualization of it, whatever it is, that's for you. And as always, take as much time as you need to align with your soul. The more you are aligned with your heart chakra and your intuition, the more these readings resonate. So take your time. Even if you have to pause the videos, the timestamps are always down below. So take as much time as you need and come back to us. For everybody who is still here, let's take in a lovely deep breath. Hold for a moment. And release energy right into the center of our bodies. Align into this moment. So let's go ahead and get right into your beautiful reading. I'm going to take pile 2 and pile 3 for now. So we're going to go right into pile 1. So again, this is your what will you say no to in this November, right? Healing through boundaries, cleansing reading, putting your energy first reading, all of that badass stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is to get you some messages right off the bat. We're going to go right into this spiritual as if AF these readings here. And for those of you, I just started on TikTok and I've used these on TikTok. The link is down below. They're really fun just to get some quick messages. So let's see. Let's get you a couple messages here that'll set the tone and the theme for what will be coming up for you. So your first message is, get off your ex's page, say a prayer, and go the fuck to sleep. There you go. As we said, spiritual as if. Exhale that bullshit. All right, so we're going to put those up for you. Now, the stay off your ex's page. might be a specific message for just some of you, but it could pertain to also staying out of the past, going down that rabbit hole. Don't need to do that. Really stopping your energy when you first start going down there and saying, I don't need to do this. You're picking up momentum with old energy and it's just not needed. But if it is a message for you to stay off your ex's page, then you heard it here first. So let's get right into your reading. I think this is great for everybody, though. This is a wonderful message for everybody. So it just isn't worth it at the end of the day. You know, is it worth being right? Is anybody really right if everybody has their own sense of freedom and their own sense of their own reality that they've created for themselves? So just exhale it, let it go. So let's see what we have here. So your first card is don't let your past hold you back. So that's something that came up here, maybe in the specifics, maybe in the generalization of it. And then you have I am in harmonious flow with the moon's energy and all phases of life. Absolutely wonderful. That's my cat, she just ate. Embracing, I embrace and love all of my life. And then you have the crown chakra here. The frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe, our ability to transmute negative energy into light. So this is something that you're definitely working on. And then you've got your past supports your future. Wonderful. Once we get into the wisdom of the past, get those jewels. Seek hidden treasure. Absolutely wonderful. Give me 1 second here for messages. So it feels as though pile 1, you are going through a cleansing of the past, but it's more about a solidifying of your new energy and how it moves forward and how you communicate and how you align with your energy sort of full time here instead of sort of going in and out of it, keeping that frequency high. So it's a matter of the boundaries that you're having here is sort of protecting you from your past. Now there's areas that, you know, experience that you've been through, obviously, and you've gotten those nuggets of wisdom from that. But we can honestly see from these cards that you've gone through everything that you needed to go through. There's no point in going back to anything right now. So anything that comes up from your past in many ways is calling you back to something that's a little bit deeper and a little bit larger, and we'll be looking at that soon. But there's not going to be any release or relief from actually focus on the specifics of the past. So if things are coming up from your past right now, and they might be as the new moon comes in, again, the specifics of it is not what you need to concentrate on. There's something bigger sort of buried in that sort of emotion behind it. And it's asking you to look at the core understanding of that and sort of release at the core level. Now you're ready to release at the core level. You're ready to do that. So again, as we say here, don't go down the rabbit hole of, you know, more to heal or this, that, and the other. And just to be really clear about how the healing works, you're already whole. It's a matter of releasing. For you, it's releasing old trauma at its root. So you can actually see yourself as whole and then operate in the world as whole. But obviously you are. That's how the universe sees you. So so when these old sort of, let's just say archetypes start coming up, and they might be specific to you, it's not the specific element of that thing coming up that wants you to get involved. It's just trying to get your attention. Now that specific thing that's coming up might enact some kind of sort of fear or drama within you. And again, that specific is not really what's going on. I am so sorry about that. Ugh. It's my phone is connected to my computer. I'm very sorry about that. But again, phoning in from your past, right? Let's make it work. So this is absolutely about not focusing on the specifics that are coming up. And in fact, as the specifics come up, use your boundaries, use your words, pile 1, and say, no, I'm not going down that. I'm not doing that. But if there's anything that you need to show me at a core level that I need to release, let's get down into the dirt and let's do this. Now, again, as we say on this channel, don't go down the rabbit hole. It's not a case of so much more to be healed, and doing this course or whatever it is that you need to do. Everything is ready to be unearthed. It's just that there's a little bit of pain at the core of what's going on, like really at the wound site. And what's happened before is that as you've healed, you're pulling back the layers of the onion. And because your wounds ran deep, Pile One, because you're such an old soul from old karma, and a lot of that stuff was mirrored as you were sort of working through the world too, that you healed the way in which you needed to heal, and that was perfectly fine for you, in alignment with you, again peeling back the layer of the onion bit by bit. And every time you healed, something more sort of came up, and you worked through it sort of incidentally on your own terms. You can't compare your healing to anybody else's because it ran deep. And also at the same time, there was a parallel part of you. For a lot of you were working on bloodline. You were working on essences of bloodline blockages and all sorts of other things that you were working on. So you weren't just working at your own core level, which was deep enough, to be honest with you, because of soul contracts that you had, karma that you had from past lives, and a lot of sort of unfinished business, a little bit, at the beginning of your life, at least. Now you're coming into a new beginning, so that doesn't really correlate anymore. That doesn't really work. But this is about really embracing and balancing in your new energy. And in order to do this, there's still something that needs to be looked at the core level. Now, in the past, like majorly in the past, you wouldn't have wanted to do this because you would have felt as though that going right to the core level would have been way too much for you. And it would have overwhelmed you. So that's why you peeled layers of the onion back, and you did this slowly and incrementally. Now, over this time, you may have felt like, you would have been really overwhelmed. Some of you, this is not necessarily a message for all of you, but some of you would have felt like if you connected to that core wound right at the beginning and went right for it and started healing, it would have overwhelmed you and you wouldn't have been able to bounce back. Now, whether that's true or not, it doesn't really matter, because that's what you felt, and then we honor that. And so you, as we said, you moved in incremental ways, you healed in incremental ways, but as you slowed down your healing and you did this, so for some of you who are feeling as though this process has been taking so long, yes, because you've been healing at its core. You've been working up to this for the entire time, and you've been healing really, really beautifully. When you heal properly, even though you're peeling back the layers of the onion and it feels as though you're doing this quite slowly, and you've done this and then you're moving on to something else. For some of you, it may feel as though, will this ever end? Yes, of course the healing will end, and you're moving into this new plateau already. It's about calling your energy back. It's about calling aspects of yourself back from past lives and from times that you gave away your energy to, from trying to be seen. So calling back all those essences back into your energy field is where you're at, and really looking at these deep core wounds. Now, the fact that you're here is absolutely incredible. It means that you've done this incredible work to be able to get here. Now, some of you might be feeling as though, I'm a little bit nervous about looking at this core wound, because of course you're healing incrementally all the time. And even though this absolutely worked for you, you haven't really visited this core wound in such a way, although you think that's true. Every time you healed incrementally and you went through and you healed in this way that you did, sort of in small versions and healing aspects of oneself, you were actually healing at the core wound. So it's not going to look the same as you felt it would have been, like many, many years before. So it's not, so your body's and your mind is being activated, particularly the ego that's trying to step up and protect you. God love it, right? So as you're getting to this core wound, what's happening is that you're triggering these other images and these other things that are coming up that are alerting you to the fact that something is there that still needs to come up, and not really healed, just released at this point, because you've done all of the work. But it's not the specifics of what it is. So it might be coming up in a sense of drama. It might be coming up in a sense of this, that, and the other. Something that's in and around it, seemingly incidental, that's pulling your attention. And the attention doesn't need to go to the specific aspect of where it's being called to. It's actually trying to call you deeper. But there's a part of you, your ego, that's coming in and trying to protect you. And it's not sabotaging in any way. Actually, it's literally just trying to protect you. But it's trying to get in there and say, all right, let's not go to the core wound. Let's just deal with this. But whatever is coming up for you, whatever you're being triggered by, or whatever, it's incidental. It's not, it doesn't need your attention. And a lot of it isn't real. There's something actually deeper there. So if anything's pulling you back to the specifics of your past or whatever, that's just alerting you to the fact that there's something deeper that needs to happen. But the actual specifics that's coming up, it's really up to you to put your energy first and really put your 2 feet down and say, no, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I am absolutely not going to pay attention to this thing that's coming up, but I'm going to pay attention to something deeper. There's something deeper that's calling my attention, and that's what I need to look at. So embracing and loving all aspects of yourself is coming in, really working with your self-esteem. Now, your self-esteem and your desire, what it is that you believe that you can gather in this world, is being held in this core wound. So there's a lot of beauty that's in this core wound too, once you uncover it. It's not going to set you back 10 years. Again, you've been working on this systematically. You don't have to worry about it. It's not going to overwhelm you. You've done so much work on yourself that you'll only really truly, for most of you, understand how much you've healed and truly appreciate at your core the completely different person that you are when you actually look at this core wound. And it's absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, in and around how you view yourself and how you view your self-worth. It all comes back to that. So if, again, aspects of your past are pulling you back, just really be very strict with the boundaries and say, I'm not getting on this merry-go-round, because it's just going to loop around and around and around, and it's not going to take you to the core of what you need to do and what you need to really be looking at. And again, this understanding is just trying to protect you, because there's an essence of you that's being triggered that's like, all right, this is what we've been leading up to. This is what we've been doing systematically for years and getting to. And this is what we were a little bit nervous of in the beginning, which is why we healed in this way. So of course there's a little bit of nervousness, there's a little bit of twitchy in and around your energy. But we promise you, once you get into that core element, there's not much to heal anymore. It's just a releasing and an understanding. And it's also a bringing to light. The core wound is still sort of in the darkness. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. But if you shine light on it, not only will you bring it up into the light, but you'll also be able to see the gifts and the beauty. There's a lot of beauty that's holding out for you in that darkness. Let's get you some more information. Now, the way in which you're going to approach this, you don't have to worry about it. So I'm just going to make sure that this is the right way up. The way in which you're going to approach this is completely different to the way that you're approaching other aspects or integrating the self. We're not going to say healing, integrating certain aspects of yourself. So you're actually seeing it from, above, more objective, the macro level. So the 7th chakra looking down, rather than working through each and every sort of element of what needs to be worked through and what needs to be healed and released. So it's the grudge work has already been done. The sort of the groundwork has already been done. So this can be an incredible spiritual experience for you that can really bring you into this understanding of getting that hidden treasure. Now, there's something in your psyche of putting yourself sort of back together in a way that you know that you deserve everything that you want. Now, a lot of you have what you might consider lofty aspirations, but they're really not that lofty at all. It's just that, and you're not missing this part of yourself, but once this part is truly integrated and really understanding the beauty of who you are, and then your desires will match your understanding that you can get and gather anything that you want. Now, you're great transmuters in this world, and you are brilliant visualizers, so you're great manifestors. If you haven't already, I did a reading recently about what kind of light worker you are. You might want to check that out. You are incredible manifestors. So, but the manifestations may not be working as well as they could, just because what you believe you can attain in this lifetime is still sort of stuck in an old mode or an old version of yourself. But again, this is easily unearthed. But the way in which you can go about it on a very practical level is sort of going about it completely differently than you did before. Before you went about it, you put up your sleeve, you said, all right, we're going to go and we're going to heal. We're going to do this. It's going to be a little bit messy. We're going to have a lot of ugly crying, but we're going to do it. And you did it. You absolutely did it. All aspects of yourself, everything that came up, you did. You faced, you absolutely worked through all of this. And there was this sort of mentality of like, we're going to get in there. It's not going to be so great, but we're going to do this. And this is going to be kind of tough. And then there were these moments of really understanding yourself and these moments of illumination, which were absolutely gorgeous. But you saw it as something that you needed to do, like a task. It's something I need to do, which is perfectly fine because it worked for you. And and as we said, when you healed and you got through, you really did all of this. There's no stone left unturned, right? You didn't do this on a preliminary level. This is deep healing. So even when you were pulling back those layers of the onion, you were doing this really, really deeply. So, but this is the way that you can approach this. This doesn't have to be done. This can be done in a sort of a more celebration element, going in with that kind of understanding of unearthing this treasure as we have here, going in with all of this knowledge that you have behind you, knowing that a lot of your past is gone. Again, not paying attention to some of the things that are coming up from your past that might be quite specific, but it's really sort of those things that are coming up are really taking you away from the unearthing that needs to be done here. And none of them, it's a loop. It's going round and it's a loop. In order to get rid of that loop, you've got to say, no, we're going to go deeper. Thank you for alerting me to something else going on, but the specifics of what you're coming, I don't need to give my attention to. So for here, you've got this harmonious flow with the moon's energy in all phases of life. Everything about this reading is about going into the subconscious and really understand this is what you've been doing at a level, sort of this iceberg level. You've been going deep and you've been dealing and healing your subconscious in ways that you won't even realize until you delve in. So all of this reading is about going back into the moonlight, working with sort of seemingly the darkness, but you've got a lot of illumination there. All of your self-worth is there. All you have to do is unpack it. You don't have to heal it. This is the gift to you, being able to see it and come in from a fact of, it's almost if you want to see it as this army, if you want to, but you're not going into battle. All of these soldiers that you have behind you is every aspect of yourself that you've already healed. And you're going in with all of this support to see all of this beautiful unearthing. And it's going to be a really beautiful transcendental sort of like experience of really understanding and connecting at your true core and really understanding who you are and connecting with the universe in a brand new way, and understanding that you are the universe. You're not just connecting to the universe, you are the universe, and really understanding at a core level that you deserve everything that you have asked for, and it's on its way to you. And understanding this at a core level, at the subconscious level, brings it up to the conscious level, and then you can create it. All of these gifts that you've been working on, everything that, you're brilliant manifestors, you're brilliant visualizations. When you come to visualization about what you want, you can do this in a second. You're brilliant transmuters. You know exactly what you're doing with alchemy. You've absolutely got this. You can change and shift your life at a moment's notice once you work through and really acclimate into this beautiful new psyche and see it as a new sort of like general in a way. But you're not going to fight anymore. You don't even have to be that warrior ship anymore. You needed to before. You can sort of lay down all your arms and know that you've got it there, but you've got the backup of all of this energy that's in this sort of core wound that's just waiting to be seen. And that's it. That's all you need to do. All you need to do is see it. You've got the world. Yeah, you've got don't let your past hold you back. You've got the Ace of Cups. You've got so much here going in, and you can see it as a way in which to pick up the last part of yourself, the way in which to pick up this understanding of this ultimate respect that you have for yourself. Now, we're just giving you this, this real talk here. You haven't always had a lot of respect for yourself, pal. One, you put other people before you, people who you wanted to maybe be seen by. This is in your past, or people that maybe didn't treat you as well, but somehow you still treated them better than you did yourself. This is about picking up all of that. Once you bring all of this essence to you, to the light, and that's all it needs to sort of heal. And we're saying heal because it's not really, doesn't really need to be healed. It just needs to be integrated. That's where your hidden treasure lies. And that's where you really, really click into who you are. Really, you know who you are, but click into the aspect of the desire of what you want. And that you really click into the understanding of actually where you come from and what you deserve. And then those boundaries that you've had before, ironically enough, you won't even need anymore, because you've had to have those boundaries before so you could learn how to be better to yourself. You won't even need those anymore. You've got this with the hidden, seek the hidden treasure. You don't need to fight with aspects of yourself anymore. This idea of pumping yourself up, or I can do this, I deserve this, all of these mantras, all of that will just be, it won't be hidden anymore. It'll be integrated. You'll know that. You'll absolutely know that. And there's also boundaries that you're holding, which are very important for you. Keep going. Well done. All these boundaries that you're holding for yourself, so you can make sure that you treat yourself well. All of those boundaries will be dissolved, because all of those people will be dissolved out of your life. All of these situations will be dissolved out of your life, because your frequency will be at a highest point and it will be able to stay there. That's it. And again, you've done so much work on the exterior that's gone into the subconscious, because a lot of what we're bringing into our life is subconscious. So much of it is subconscious, and we can sabotage ourselves with the subconscious energy that we have. But in many ways, the reason why you think as though, for some of you, I've been healing for so long, and this, you've been healing the subconscious, and a lot of people just heal the external. And then it becomes quite obvious that they've not really gone that deep, and they've not healed their subconscious. We see this in the spiritual community. We see it in every community whatsoever. Just because you're spiritual doesn't necessarily mean that you've kind of got it together, right? It's really, really deep work. And this is deep work that you've been doing, that you've taken time out to do. And it's not been easy work. And it's cost you some time. It has. We're going to be honest with you. But that's because you knew once you got this, you would be able to move through it in a way and not keep constantly going back. And this is your time to step into that power and that light. So really embrace the moonlight. A lot of you, in a very practical way, might be actually finding as though you've become a little bit of a night owl very, very recently, because the energy of the evening or the night, the early hours of the morning, going to sleep at like 3, 4 in the morning, when, when you were doing pretty well and having a good night's sleep and getting up in the early morning and having that sort of schedule, but you've sort of gone the opposite of that, because there's something in that energy at night that's very supportive for you, moving through and going into that subconscious and really highlighting what needs to be done. And you can feel that support at night. It's almost like you feel as though your energy is there. You feel as though your guides are there. The wisdom is there. Now, this is just a phase. You'll go through, many of you will go through these, and not all of you are night owls right now, but for those of you who are, and you're like, all right, I'm trying to do this, but, I'm not being able to sleep at night right now. And it's kind of messing up my day. Go with it for now, because everything that you achieve during the day, it'll fall into line. But allow for this to happen, because there's something in that energy of night. There's something in those early hours of the morning, especially 3, 4 a.m. for you, that's really going to solidify this process for you and bring you out quicker. Again, once it's solidified, it's going to be a lot quicker than you even imagined. Just paying attention to it will do it. And once it's aligned, you'll go back to where you were before. So for those of you who are trying to control, there's a lot of things, and I'm trying to get this done, I'm trying to get that done. Just go with it right now, and don't try and overload everything that you're trying to do, especially in the first aspect, the first couple of weeks of November, if you are listening to this in November. Do what you need to do. Absolutely. Step into that responsibilities. We're not saying, throw shit to the wind, caution to the wind, and whatever happens. Of course, step up and do what you need to do. We don't want you to be overwhelmed in that way and feel as though you're falling behind, but also be realistic and don't overwhelm yourself with trying to get too much done, because this is something that's taking your attention, and it's really important. Once this is solidified, you're going to move forward in incredible ways. Yeah, you've got embracing. I embrace love in all of my life. This divine masculine, the sun card coming in and illuminating everything. Again, once we come out of that energy of the moonlight, of what is sort of still hidden but ready to be revealed in this illuminative sort of beautiful aspect of self, then you get that strength, that energy that's sort of brought up to the surface, integrated fully. And then all of these manifestations, and we're going to be really clear, You have put out your energy there. You've been, you've been planting these seeds all over the place. So this is something that you're sort of waiting for this return to come back. And some of you have been in this void a little bit. And the void can be a beautiful place because it keeps you exactly where you need to be. But at the same time, it can feel frustrating if you stay there too long. So this is the way that, all of those seeds get planted, and you get to see what you've grown, right? All of this from the subconscious coming up. You've got the Ace of Wands here with your crown chakra. Again, this passionate, beautiful energy of culminating, knowing, again, looking at this from the macro level, looking at it from all angles, but looking at it from, the objectivity, looking down, not getting involved in these small little aspects, these petty little things that might be trying to take your attention, or this, that, and the other. This is an all-inclusive moment for you to really enjoy and come in from a place of joy and celebration. This is nothing for you to be frightened of or ashamed of or anything like that. This is something that's going to integrate you at a core level and move you into a new space of being. So you've got the moon's coming up again, absolutely beautiful. You've got the moon and the sun and the Ace of Wands here. Your past supports your future. Again, in the spider web of what you've built, you want to make sure that you're staying in that creative mode and keep building, keep building. Don't get stuck in that spider web. And again, using these two energies that seemingly are, in the polarity, one versus the other, not necessarily one versus the other, but complete opposites. But actually, they're just exactly they're exactly the same, but just on a different chain of events. They're not even lower or higher. It's just they're right there for you. These energies are right there for you. So it's as you reach for the moon, the sun is right there. It's right behind it. So it's not like you're choosing one or the other, but the illumination of the moon for some of you. Now, some of you don't need the illumination of the moon. You can go straight to the strength of the sun and do it your way. Please do everything your way. It's really important. We just give you the support and the practical advice. And hopefully, at the very least, it sort of inspires you. It sparks you to go in a certain direction that's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Even if it's the complete opposite of what we said or giving you advice about, it's not about listening to absolutely everything and following it to the letter. It's about taking in that information and integrating it the way that you need to, and listening to your own heart and the way that you need to do this. Because obviously these are general readings. And even if it was a personal reading, still do that. So for some of you, illuminating through the moon energy and the beautiful energy. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be right underneath the sun or right underneath the moon. Again, it's just more about the energy. But if you want to, that could be too. For some of you who want to take it one step further, ritual aspect, bringing back elements of you. And there are parts of you that have that's sort of been hidden from you for a little while. They are also in that subconscious. They are also waiting to be unraveled, because you really do have that hidden treasure there, and coming back to that essence of who you are. So this is your mantra, really, and this is what you're heading for. This is what you're in the middle of doing. And some of you are right in the middle of it, and you're feeling a little bit confused about past stuff coming up and being in that loop. Hopefully we've given you a way out of that. And some of you are sensing that, you're in that illumination phase and you're ready to do this. You're a little bit nervous, but you're ready. Some of you are coming on the other side of it and really coming into this manifestation mode. But either way, no matter where you are in this, your mantra is, I am in harmonious flow with the moon's energy and all phases of life. And that's where you are, because you are moon goddesses or gods. Or both, why choose? Take it all, right? You are this sort of, not necessarily a cult. I know a lot of people get nervous about that, but you are this whimsical, beautiful essence of what is hidden. That's exactly who you are. You've got these hidden depths to you. And it's about bringing them in and integrating them in a way, and really bringing them front and center, so you can just really claim all aspects of yourself. So the parts of yourself that you held sort of close to you and you hid out of protection, some of that is aspects of your inner child too, will be brought up and integrated in this process too. This is a very, very exciting time for you. And again, for those of you who are like, yeah, I'm an all-nighter right now, or I'm a night owl, what the hell, this just kind of, I just got back into where I was before, where, you know, I was getting a full night's sleep and up first thing in the morning and everything was great. And, you know, and don't worry, this is just a phase, but honor where you are too, because your energy is alive at that time, 3, 4 in the morning, if this message is for you, for a reason, because a lot of support, a lot of energy, and also, a lot of sort of synonymous energy and forecasting. A lot of like all these gifts are coming back to you, and a lot of these messages are being integrated in that time. And it's your body is feeling it, your energy is feeling it, your frequency is feeling it. So there's a reason why you're up at this time. So don't fight against yourself. Allow yourself to really go down and deep. And again, it's not even when you go down there, it's going to be more of a celebratory fashion. It's not going to be like, oh no, we got to heal this, or oh my goodness. And it's just a matter, it's more of integrating and honoring when you get down into that last portion of your sort of soul here. And it's a beautiful time for you. Hidden treasures, beautiful, gorgeous things, and gifts that you already have, but really will be heightened after this, and just really solidify your soul, because you should know that everything you want is available to you, and you deserve everything that you want. Absolutely. This guilt and this shame that you've been working with one way or another, and you've been pulling the layers of the onion back, that's going to be obliterated coming out as you integrate it and realize that there's no need for any of that anymore. This really is moving you up into this highest frequency where you can have that magical life. Where you do have that magical life, you're already in that time frame, that timeline where you already have that magical life. It's just a matter of securing it. That's all. You've already got it. It's already here. It's done. It's absolutely done. So that's what we have for you, Pile 1. Very, very beautiful, exciting energy. We support you for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. We are sending you so much support and love, especially for those early hours of the morning, for those of you who need it. Until we meet again, stay absolutely you, go be you, and until we meet again, take care. Bye-bye. Pile 2s, if you chose the Conscious Oracle cards, or the Conscious Oracle deck on the top, then this is for you. As a reminder, we have our beautiful candle here, our magic candle for communication, and we are doing what will you say no to this November? It's more about healing through boundaries. It's a cleansing reading, putting your own energy first. But what are you saying no to? What are you reclaiming? So what we're going to do, first of all, we're going to get a couple of extra messages for you to start off this reading. We've got the Spiritual AF cards here. And again, if you follow me on TikTok, I just started. It's kind of fun. I use these cards a few times. They're fun cards, irreverent. So let's start off and get you a couple of cards to set the tone of our reading, and then we will get right into it. All right, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? No equals a full sentence. Yes, Pile 2. For sure. And the secret to being a good human is learning not to take your shit out on others. All right, well, there you go. So no projecting or learning to take your shit out on others. So no equals a full sentence. So this really comes together too. If you have your boundaries and you say, it doesn't feel as though you really do project on other people. That sounds a little too harsh for you. But it does feel like sometimes there's these explosive moments where you're like, you're done because, you know, you haven't said no initially. And it's really important. And this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're talking about. What are you saying no to? Say no to everything that you need to say no to. Even if something upsets you in the moment, it's important to articulate it. We're really taught in society to pull things down, or, you know, maybe you're being too silly, or you're focusing on this, or you're being too petty. But if something genuinely upsets you and you keep letting it go and you keep letting it go, you're going to end up like blowing up. So it's important for you to take sort of stock of where you are and what it is that you're putting up with, and saying no kind of from the beginning, if you can. And this is a wonderful way for you too, because you've let some people into your life in the past, and you've worked through a lot of this, but you've let some people to your life, for want of a better term, taking the piss a little bit, you know. And if you had said no, or said, you know what, this kind of upset me, I cooked this dinner and you showed up, an hour later and you were drunk and this, that, and the others. I actually went out of my way to do this. This behavior is not okay. If you really put down your foot a little earlier with some of these situations, and this is what you can do now, then that relationship wouldn't have flourished, if that's the right word, the way that it did. And it just, you just would have been respected from the beginning. And if that person didn't like being spoken to like that or continued with that behavior, it would have fizzled out. So this is a way for you to really respect those boundaries in yourself. And even if it's small, if it's something that's inside of you and it's like, there's something about it, but it seems petty, do it anyway. You know what? That I don't appreciate what you just said, or I appreciate that that's where you're coming from, but it's not. I'm going to excuse myself or whatever, right from the beginning, so it doesn't blow up. Let's see what else we have for you. Earth Elemental, look at that. I gratefully accept the abundance the earth bestows on me. Absolutely. And this is all about coming back to you and really picking up those gifts that the universe is ready to deliver to you. And again, it's about honoring your own energy. Leadership. I am a beacon of radiance, support, and love. And it's really important for those of you moving into that leadership role or in that leadership role and wanting to move a little bit further up that leadership ladder, if that's even a thing. That's kind of weird. Maybe not a ladder. It's important for you to respect yourself at all times. It's really, really important, because there's an element of you that doesn't feel seen when you don't stand up for yourself, even in those small moments. And again, then you create a sort of a life for yourself, or you create these circumstances for yourself. And it's important for you on a very practical level, pal, too, to say no to things right from the beginning as you're moving into these leadership roles. Because it feels as though there's a lot of different leeways. There's a lot of different things that you would have been able to sort of negotiate for yourself. And when you've really stood in your energy and said, no, I really don't want to do this, or this isn't enough money, or this isn't whatever, you've been, people have come back and they've wanted to keep you, right? But you've had to get to that first. So as you're moving into these leadership roles, it's really important. If something isn't really feeling right for you, feel as though, not being disrespected, but it isn't worth your time, and it's something that you don't want to do. It's sort of, for want of a better term, a little bit beneath you. Not that you think you're above it, it's not that, but a little bit beneath you, something that you don't feel as though your energy needs to go to. Say at the beginning, this clause doesn't work for me, this doesn't work for me, this doesn't work for me. Don't go along with it thinking that it's only a small thing and it's going to be okay. So, create what it is that you want in every moment by standing for what it is that you believe in, standing for what it is that you want. Because if people really want to work with you and people are going to support you in the role that you're taking on for them or for you, then they're going to be, okay, we'll work on that. But you've got to step up and do it. So it's important that you do that at every stage of the game here, and start doing this in November. Start doing it in a really, really small way. No, I don't like this vegetable. No, I don't. Whatever it is, but start doing it in a really small way and watch how your life changes in a week, even in and around you too, the energy, because you're respecting yourself. You're respecting your boundaries. And this idea that, I think it gets misunderstood a lot, this understanding that, yes, we do need to work with each other. There is a certain amount of compromise that needs to be done. But where is the compromise on your end? And what does compromise mean to you? That's something that you might want to bring up and really think about. How many times have I totally compromised myself and I'm like, and I didn't need to do that, and people aren't meeting me halfway? What is compromising? Maybe I don't need to compromise this month. Maybe I need to look at the word compromise. Maybe I need to compromise on the word compromise, right? So you've got conception, something coming in here. The frequency of conception invites us to bring our consciousness to our origin, the place where everything in creation begins. It helps us to remember the infinite potential and possibilities of this space and what we can manifest through our own focused awareness and attention. And this is what we're talking about, focusing on your own awareness and intention. And in order to do that, you need to really solidify your beauty, your trust, and who you are, and really, really stand for that in every way, shape, or form, right? You absolutely need to do it. And you can even do it in a way where you're like, figure out how you want to do this. Not pushing the envelope necessarily, but, you don't want to turn out to be a mini Hitler or go off into, sort of alienate yourself, like go too far with it. But that this is all about balance. You're not going to do that. But you can really put this down and say, I probably wouldn't have done this before. And this is something I can really work on. This is really something I can really compromise on, but I'm choosing not to, and really sort of push and make sure that everything that you want is on the table and it's being respected, at least initially as you move through, and really solidify this as you move through. So you're no longer saying no anymore, because you don't have to do it that often, because the energy of respecting yourself constantly is already there. So there's nothing that the universe is trying to prove to you or help you see, Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Okay, so a personal issue reaches resolution. Yeah, this is about really being careful and conscious about. Now, this is something that you can do. Don't go crazy in your past, as we say, go down the rabbit hole. Don't do this. Go through every single aspect and call people up and go, I put up with this and I shouldn't have did it. It's not worth your time and energy. It's not going to do it. However, if you want to do this as an exercise, and this is the way that you're doing with making no judgments, is that without judging, but redirecting your energy, you can pick up some really key situations that happened where you're like, I was disrespected and I didn't say something, and I did feel as though that had a snowball effect where this person kept disrespecting me. However, and this is where the no judgments come in, because I didn't really say anything in the moment, right? That person wasn't aware of it. Now, this idea that people really get where we're coming from is ridiculous. Sometimes I think I'm being really obvious about certain things, and the person that I'm trying to be obvious with, they have no idea. Far from it. My version of being obvious is really, as a Scorpio element that I have, is not, it's very secretive, right? So presuming that the other person is getting it, and we didn't give them it's ridiculous. And giving them the chance to step up when we didn't give them the chance to step up, right? Now, that relationship could have gone a little bit differently. I've definitely had relationships in my life where I've done that, and they could have gone differently if I'd stood up for myself. This is many, many years ago. If I'd stood up for myself, much earlier, they didn't have the chance to do that. So there's a way that you can go back. That's why it's important not to have any judgment, because we don't really know how they would have stepped up if you had said something. They may have been like, oh, okay, and not done that behavior again, right? But letting it get out of control a little bit, going back and making these judgments. Well, this person did this and they disrespected me and they kept disrespecting me. Yeah, you own how you feel. If you felt disrespected, then that's true for you. You own it, absolutely. But that person wasn't aware of that disrespect. So you can go back to certain aspects of your life, certain situations, and replay what happened and see. And this actually works. And stand up for yourself in the moment. Again, don't introduce that person. You can do it in some kind of visualization or meditation. What it would have been like if you stood your ground and said, you know what, this is kind of bullshit. And you can do it any way that you want. You can go, we'll use that example of somebody showing up late and you sat there and you wanted to, and all they, and you wanted to have a nice dinner and they showed up late and they were kind of disrespectful. You could do it just talking to them and saying, you know what, that wasn't really okay. I wasn't okay with that. Or you can do it to the length of, because it's up to you how you do it. Feel into it, see how it works for you, as they show up and go, you know what, this has been sitting here for an hour. You're drunk. I'm not doing this. Let's do this another time, and shut the door in their face. Any way that you want to do it, but do this in the visualization. Pick a couple of ones that you want to do. Especially where the energy of the behavior was a snowball effect. It kept going and kept going. And especially in a situation where you may have blown up with this person, right? It's not about getting this person back. It's not about solidifying any of that. It's about regrouping your power. You can still get your power back from that situation by doing this, and then release it. Again, don't do it with the judgment, because this person wasn't given the situation, this way in which to step up. And if they did, and you did say no to them, and you kept letting them in your life, and that's something that's a separate thing that you need to work on for yourself. But if you didn't really approach it constantly, you didn't put your needs first, and you just sort of put up with that behavior, there can't be any judgment there. It's not going to do you any good. So coming back to the sacred flow of yes, that's it. So when you say no to other people who are disrespecting you, you're saying yes to your own energy. And what happens every time you say yes to yourself? You ground just a little bit more into your own energy, into your own beauty. You appreciate yourself more. You love yourself a little bit more. That self-acceptance comes in. And you see yourself a little bit more. You acknowledge yourself a little bit more. And when you see yourself a little bit more, you're not looking for the external validation anymore in any way, shape, or form. You don't care what people see. The right people are going to see what they see. You're going to have your soul family in and around you, and the rest of them can go F off. It really doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, you're not here to please everybody and save everybody. Nobody could do that. Even Jesus couldn't. You know, he tried and they killed him. You know, it's impossible to do that. So God love him. Sweet, sweet Jesus. Anyway, so let's move on to more specific things. So this is something that you can do to go back. And again, don't go down that rabbit hole of every single situation. You can if you want, but you know, I would choose a couple of key situations, and again, where the snowball effect kept coming up, and regroup, regain your power from that, and watch what, you know, however you decide to handle this is completely up to you. If this is a person or a situation that sort of got out of alignment and is no longer in and around you, or no longer sort of versatile or healthy, as you do this and you put your energy in and around this situation, see how that situation evolves. Does that person come back into your life, or try to, or does it shift your energy in and around them? I mean, try it on, see what happens. Also, you know, don't just do these exercises and then, you know, let this person come in and disrespect you again. Obviously, you know, all right, we're done, we're good, I'm good now, you can come back in. You know, this is a reading about putting your energy first, respecting yourself first, no matter what. But the most important lesson for you is, like, even it feels as though a lot of you have been told that you were really sensitive, or maybe oversensitive, and obviously you took that to heart. Who the hell wouldn't, right? And that, so when you reacted, there was this conscious way of trying to, oh, all right, that's happening. The judgment, that came out. Well, actually, that came out because we're talking about this. Let's get you another card. You know, and this conscious element of trying to pull everything down and keep everything sort of hidden, or just work with the energy because you didn't want to be seen as overreacting, right? And then maybe you did overreact and you blew up because you did put up with a lot of different things because you were trying to make everything okay, or be a people pleaser, or there's a myriad of different reasons why this could have happened. But you got the impression that, you know, it wasn't your right to stick up for yourself, or maybe this was too silly, or maybe this wasn't enough. You only stick up for yourself when somebody's like, you know, going for you or something like that. These small things just put up with. And the thing is, it's like, that's not right for you, because a little aspect of yourself got hidden every time you did that, every time, because you felt as though you were disrespecting yourself, and then it does snowball into something else. And this is about really reclaiming who you are. And there's a really easy way to do this, because there's aspects of yourself that are just sort of all over the place. They're not exactly fragmented, but they're not cohesive. And to make them cohesive, or bring them into this cohesive quality and really ground into the earth and ground into your energy, you got to learn to say no. And you've got to do it from the old ways that you did it, again, on your own. You've got to say no now, and really be clear about what it is that you want. Because the one thing, that the way in which it's affected you in some ways, and this may not be for everybody, but if it is, this is kind of big. The way in which it's just that you really know what you want, but when it comes down to asking for the specifics, you can get really confused. And there's a reason why. It's because there's little parts of disrespecting yourself. You've fallen away from yourself just a little bit. So you either don't know that you deserve what you want, or when you actually step up, you can be a little bit more indecisive than you used to be. And that's just because you need to bring back the cohesiveness, because once you choose something and it feels right, you're going to go for it. And you used to be that way. You used to be that way, and you haven't lost that way. It's just along the way, you've just not stood up for yourself enough. So there's just not a lot of power that goes behind what you think you want. So you're not indecisive. You don't have a problem with commitment. When you've done it, you wanted something, you've done it, right? Without a shadow of a doubt. But this way of treating yourself has sort of leaked into other areas of your life. And now you're starting to notice it, how you step up for yourself. So go back, do that past thing. And from now on in, make November your no or your yes, whatever it is that you need. You don't need to say no to absolutely everything, but stand your ground even on the tiniest things. And the way in which you can do it with great bravado, you can do it with fun. You don't have to be bitchy and nasty about it. There's so many ways that you can step up, but the main thing is to be firm. Right? Absolutely firm. And you know what? If you articulate yourself in a certain way and it comes across as a little gruff at the beginning, that's fine. It'll even out. You're just learning how to do this. You can come back and say, oh, that came out a little bit stronger than I wanted to. Sorry about that. Let's try this again. That's okay. Other people will appreciate that without a shadow of a doubt. And honor it too. So make no judgment. You've got the Knight of Pentacles coming in. Absolutely. As we said, this is all about you moving forward. A lot of you have been in some kind of void energy, which can be really supportive and beautiful, but you want a way out. This is a way out of moving into that. And honestly, you've got all your sort of ducks in a row ready to go, but it's just a matter of, what do I choose next? What do I do next? And I think I want this, but the energy isn't around it yet. This is the reason why the energy isn't around you yet. You've got to get that kinetic energy around you to move forward, but you've got everything in line ready to go. So, and if these energies are not there, it's not gonna hold the sort of rhythm that you need to carry on, to move forward, so the universe can meet you halfway and deliver what it is that you want. So this is integral to what you're doing right now. With the Earth, you've got the Six of Wands moving forward. Absolutely. You've got everything that you need. And this sort of victorious sort of moving forward, and you've got support. You've got other people looking up to you also, sort of in some ways, for some of you, sort of hanging off your every word. I don't know what it is that you do, that you're out there, but you're in a position to do what you do and really blow it up, right? Blow it up. Whatever it is that you do, if you have some kind of audience, well done, congratulations. But you're ready to step into this major leadership role and really take off, and sort of in different directions too, different streams of income, different things that you're doing. It'll all correlate in some ways, but you've got lots of different things going on, lots of different ideas that can go and really be put out into the universe in a really beautiful, dramatic way, and all of them can take off, but you've got to have the strong stance to come in with. So these other people are waiting for you to do this too. It's a no-brainer. You've got this, right? And in your leadership position, you've got the Eight of Swords. The only thing that's happening is you holding yourself back or going into this energy of lack. Right? And this is what's come in and around this energy of lack. I don't know if I have enough resources. I don't know if I have enough this, that, and the other. Now, reminding yourself that the universe brings in resources, and resources can come from a ton of different ways. Like, I want a house that's $400,000. Wonderful, right? Somebody could gift you that house. Magical things happen all the time. There's a way that you could, there's so many different ways you can get that. You don't just have to think about the gathering that 400,000. Maybe that's how the universe gives you. They give you the money, or maybe the universe gives you a house. The lack mentality is just a way of protecting yourself, and you don't need to do that. The protection can be lifted right now once you really stand in your own power. So if you don't know how you're moving forward and that's pulling you back, I don't have the resources to do this, or I don't see how this can really get out there, or what I want, I just don't know from where I am right now how I can get there. That's fine. That's not up to you to figure out. That's the universe to figure out. All you need to do is stand your ground, respect yourself, know who you are, know that you're worthy of everything that you've done. And honestly, gosh, Dolly, or whatever that thing is, you've put in the time to be able to track this stuff. You're not just sitting here arbitrarily going, I want this, I want this, I want. You've been working toward this one way or another, either directly or indirectly, with all the healing and everything that you've done your entire life, right? So there's no reason why it shouldn't be delivered. This is up to you. So stop going with the lack thing and get back into your power. So you've got the Page of Swords. You have this with your conception here. You absolutely have the way to bring back your power. You have this understanding of truth. You're articulate. You've got everything ready to go. And it's just a matter of you moving forward with it. The Two of Cups, the support is coming in. Ace of Cups, I love that. Ace of Cups came up with the pile 1, 2. There's nothing that can go wrong here. Literally, you've got this. Once you own your power, the Two of Cups, soul family, Also, incredible support coming in for you. It could mean for some of you that love is coming in with the Ace of Cups too. Your counterpart is coming in too, which is, that's going to change your energy. That's going to shift your energy. And for those of you who have just met somebody special and you're wondering about them, this could be an indication that this person, always listen to your heart though, always listen to your heart. Your heart gives you exactly what you need. If there's red flags, I always say this with a person. The person that's giving off the red flags they don't actually realize that they're giving off the red flags. The red flag is between you and your guides. Now, whether you listen to those red flags, a lot of people just sort of bury those red flags and go on. That's up to you. That's your prerogative. There's a lot of fun things that can happen through that, but the red flags are there for a reason, right? So listen to your heart. If there's, if those red flags are coming up, listen. But your intuition will tell you this counterpart, this energy coming in. There's also an energy of a true integration of the divine masculine, the divine feminine for you, grounded into that energy, but utilizing that divine masculine where you have this sense of confidence moving forward, where you can create the life that you want easily. And in this way, it's a sacred flow, right? Where you're the magnet and it comes in because you've done all this work already. The last part of the puzzle is you standing in your own power. So really manifest that personal issue reaches resolution. All you need to do is say no. And sometimes you need to say yes too, but you need to say no first, gather your energy, and then say yes to the right things. Everything will be a lot clearer. The clarity is going to come in about where to move, how to move, what to do, what the next move is once you gather your energy and really claim those boundaries. And again, do that exercise if you feel like you want to. Really don't include the past. Don't bring up the other people and start, yelling at, I saw this reading and then, and she told me to do this and I hate you. You shouldn't have done this. No, don't go down that rabbit hole. If this is all about claiming the energy and claiming your power, you're still giving away your power if you're doing that, because that person's going to go, this person's Lula. I ain't dealing with this, and they're going to put down the phone or whatever, right? That's not what we're doing. This is about you claiming your power at all levels, and you can still claim it back from situations that happened before. Pull back your power. That's where your clarity is. Once the clarity is signified and it's really grounded into whatever it is, then you're going to magnify everything that you put so much work into. You're going to magnify all the opportunities that you want, and also the support, the soul family, the love, whatever it is that's coming in for you, that's literally knocking on the door. You got to figure out how to open the door by doing this first. That's it. Really simple. It's not going to take a long time. It's more about a decision to do this from now on in, rather than going back and regrouping and whatever. As we say here, don't go down the rabbit hole. It's just a matter of, this is it. I'm deciding to do this from now on in, and sticking to that. Even if you feel like you're an asshole for bringing it up, even if it's good, it might feel vulnerable at the beginning. You may not like it. Maybe I feel like a banshee right now, this, that, and the other. There's a way in which to step into this energy. You know how to articulate yourself. You know how to do this funny. You know how to get what you want without forcing. There's a way to do it and to articulate your needs without sort of being overbearing. You absolutely know that. You've had overbearing people in and around you, so you know what that sounds like. You know what that feels like. You know how to stand up and step up in your own energy, but respect yourself at all levels. Once you do that and you choose you got this. So that's what we have for you, Paul 2, sending you so much love and support for exactly where you are and who you are in the world. Go be you. This is a very, very exciting month coming in. And even if you are clicking on this, not in the month of November, this is a message that you probably needed anyway. So go be you, no matter when you click on this video. Until we meet again, take care. Okay, Paul 3, last but not least. So today we are doing, again, what will you say no to this November? Healing through boundaries. It's a cleansing reading and putting your energy first reading. So in that vein, what we are going to do, we're going to start off with a couple of maybe slightly irreverent messages from Spiritual AF cards here. And again, I just started on TikTok, so I've used these cards a couple times. So if you're interested in these cards, they're kind of fun. Come visit me over there. So we're going to start with a couple of these just to get the sort of the theme, a couple of extra messages for you. These two are actually this one's, and then we'll move further into your reading. So When you are wrong, admit it. When you are right, be quiet. So that's your first. Stick with the people who pull the magic out of you, not the madness. Beautiful. So energy in and around you, staying cognizant of that energy in and around you so you can keep your sanity in and around you, because this is all about cleansing your energy, but also sort of healing through boundaries, making sure the right sort of people are in and around you. And also, it's, you know, sometimes it's not worth it to fight. It's not worth it to have a discussion. You've got to say to yourself, you know, the sentence, will this other person, having this discussion, will this other person see me? And if they can't, it's not worth it, because everybody has their own reality. And if we did not realize that before, then the last year has shown us that, right? Everybody has their own reality. They're invested in their own reality. It doesn't mean that all of those realities are going to be right for you. You choose your own reality too. There are no rights or wrongs here. What's right for some person may not be right for anyone else or other people. So it's really just a matter of where you're putting your energy. You know, don't send it down the rabbit hole. It's not worth it. So first of all, we have courage. I live passionately and courageously. That's wonderful. That's your first one. And then you have fertility. This can mean several different things. It could actually mean a child. There's many different ways to bring a child into this world or bring a child into your life, 27. Or it could be brand new beginnings for you, new projects taking off, which it seems for a lot of you, this is what this is. The frequency of fertility invites us to be more open, more courageous. You've got this too, courage here, more creative and more joyful than we were before. It activates the potential for something beautiful to grow from our consciousness into a new and grander expression of ourselves. So a lot of what's going on is bringing your energy back to yourself, expressing yourself to the right people so you are being seen, right? And also the understanding of seeing yourself and honoring your truth. If we truly honor our truth and we know where we come from, then we live in the central line where we're not really affected by polarity, and we don't need to be seen by anybody else, and we can accept everybody else's reality for what it is. We don't need to take on their energy. We don't need to lose ourselves to that reality. We don't have to consciously try and push our reality. It's just the way that it is. So this is about you really solidifying who you are and your own power, and making sure that that power stays with you. It's not in and around sort of leaking out of you in one way by trying to sort of make a difference. Sometimes we really step forward and say, you know, I want to make a difference. I'm going to fight for this. I'm going to fight for that. Or I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Now, there's nothing wrong with anyone wanting to do that at all, but it's just, where is my energy going? You know, on the external, is it going to the external to fight something? Is there something that I can do within to gain back my power? And this is something that you can do, and this is something that might be coming up for you in a very preliminary level. Where am I fighting my battles? Who am I giving my energy to? Whom am I trying to sort of change the situation or change the outcome more? When I speak to somebody, again, am I being seen? Is it worth my while to step up and have a conversation about this particular subject matter at this time? Or should I just walk away and preserve the beautiful energy that I have? Where is your energy leaking out? Bring it back in, because when that energy is solidified within you, you need it to move forward. The courage that you feel as though you might need to move forward isn't that you're lacking courage in any way. It's that maybe that your energy is leaking out in different ways. You need to pull it back. You know, if your energy is off fighting this, that, and the other, consciously or unconsciously, pulling it all back means that you don't really need that courage. You're really aligned with who you are and where you are in that moment. And then it's very clear how you move forward. Courage be damned. You've got the solar plexus chakra. So yeah, this is the I am chakra coming back to you, the lucky number 13. Also, I take actions daily that awaken my personal power. So this is all about bringing your personal power to the forefront. It's not like you have a problem with personal power in any way, shape, or form, but it's bringing it to the forefront where everything else falls in line. And again, however you do this, you know, saying no to this conversation, saying no to doing this, saying no to showing up for other people who expect things from you, but at the same time, you don't have the time to do it. other people's at this point expectations be damned. What are your expectations for yourself? What do you want to achieve? What do you expect from yourself? Putting all of that front and center completely and truly. Then you've got have faith in your dreams. Absolutely. And that's a way of bringing back your energy so you can have faith in your dreams again. Retreat. And then sacred mirrors. What is coming up for you right now that's mirroring what it is that you need to look at? Again, some of the projections might be projections. So don't take that in as anything other than what it is. If anything's going on that's, not fruitful for you, or something that's that you're having a little bit of a hard time with, don't go down the rabbit hole with it. Don't get caught up with it. There may or may not be a message about that, how you can, and some of it is not direct mirroring. It's not a case of, this is being mirrored in my life because I'm doing this behavior. I don't believe in any of that. Sometimes it's just a case of some person projecting upon you, and then the mirror is the mirror image of yourself, you having to say no. But there is something in that you can retreat in, and a retreat might mean something different to each and every one of you. So it's just a matter of how you step up and how you work with this. Give me 1 second here. So if these mirror images are coming up for you in the external, for you to be able to see what you need to shift in the internal, then this is a good thing for you to do. And give yourself time to be able to do that. Retreating may mean something very different for each and every one of you, but it's just an interior sort of review. So if something's happening on the exterior that isn't working for you, now it may not be a mirror of like that's the exact sort of behavior that you're doing or anything like that. It could be a matter of somebody projecting upon you, or somebody saying something that's intrusive or whatever. But if it's happening, there's some kind of power that you can enact within that moment. You can say that's disrespectful, or that is the way in which you see things, even if it's personal about you. That's your reality. If that's what you see, I honor it. I don't see it that way, but that's fine. There's a way in which in that moment to bring back your power. But if there's something going on in the external that's causing you to really pull your attention out of yourself, there's something that needs to be done there. And there's something that you can step up and gain that power. And it's not just about gaining that power in just that moment. It's about establishing these sort of like, not rules and regulations, but the way in which you show up for yourself that really sort of solidifies your power and puts you front and center, brings back your power. So you're in a position where you don't feel as though you need courage to move forward, or you need something outside of yourself to move forward. It's all there already. It's just a matter of moving forward, sort of in unison. So this is an aspect of you of sort of bringing back, and we don't, when we say fragmentation, there's an area of that where it can get a little slippery slope. We don't want to insinuate that parts of you are broken or anything like that. It's just parts of you are off in different directions trying to figure out things. That's the way in which you do things. It's almost like you've got an aspect of who you are, and you've got little soldiers off to, I'm going to fight this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. This, over here we're healing, over here we're doing that. And all of this, you've got busy bees, all of this working within your psyche and within your subconscious, and that's absolutely wonderful. What you're being asked to do is pull everybody together for a work meeting and say, hey, how can we all work together? What's everybody working on? Where are we at? Take note, solidify everything, and put everybody sort of on the same page. This is the way in which you've worked before, because you're extremely complex in the way you do things, and you're unique. You do things out of the box. So the way in which you heal is not, you can't compare yourself to anywhere else and anybody else. And that's why there's no one format for you for healing. That's why, if you want to go and get some help with psychotherapy, that's wonderful, but that in itself isn't going to do it. Reiki is wonderful, but that in itself isn't going to do it. That's why you've applied many different and various different degrees of healing all the way through your life, and you've turned up the volume for some of that and turned it down at certain times, because your energy is constantly flowing and shifting, and you're very much in tune with what you need in that moment, and that's absolutely wonderful. And so many different things on different levels work for you. And even if you take a discipline, you might take it to the next level, or work with it differently and integrate it within your soul for your own healing capabilities in a very specific way. So none of this like specific stuff out in the external is really going to work for you. But what's happened is, and this has been very successful for you, it's been very successful for you to go off and do certain things and have different aspects of you healing at different sort of rates and working at different times. And you've been working with your psychology, and you've been working with your energy, and you've been working with your soul. But it's all about bringing it all together and accumulating it and bringing it down. And it's all about bringing it down into that sort of power chakra, into the I am chakra, so you can feel powerful. This is all about you feeling powerful and you laying down the law for yourself about how that's going to work, because that's what you've done for yourself. Now, some of the aspects of yourself that have gone off and they've sort of taken on their own life with their own healing, and they've done that, and you've not really checked in a while, and now they're working for you and the healing's happening, and you know, the shedding's working and all of that. But when it comes to integration, it's going to take you actually coming together and pulling all aspects of yourself in a very conscious manner to say, all right, this is how we've healed before. Thank you for everything you've done. It's wonderful. Now we're all coming back and solidifying all the work that we've done. We need to sort of work together now, work together in unison. So it's not correct in any way, shape or form to say that you've been fragmented, that you're fragmented. In the past you have been, and that's why you worked in that way, to sort of work with and heal or release or integrate, we should say, different aspects of self. And some of this has been done for you, and some of this has been done very consciously. And some of the consciousness has gone into the unconsciousness and sort of integrated that. So it's about bringing this back in a conscious way so you can really sort of take form and really understand how far you've come. And then put that energy forward into this sort of new beginning, into this new idea and understanding, a new way of being in this lifetime. A lot of people have come out or are coming out of or are feeling a little frustrated in this sort of womb sort of energy. And there's nothing wrong with the womb energy. It's a safe space. It's a place that you can still find so much of yourself in there and figure a lot of stuff out. It's actually a really beautiful space before you move forward. But you're being urged forward now, and to be and to create the life that you want is really quite simple. And the way in which you find it simple is that you come back to yourself. So, you know, bringing in these different aspects of self is really going to help you do that. So underneath courage, we have the Wheel of Fortune. I believe that card, Wheel of Fortune, came up in pile 1. You can move in any direction that you want to. And you have the ability to do a 180. You have the ability to really shift things on their head once you have all the information, because a lot of this deep healing, for want of a better term, but it's really integration, has been working for you and in and around you in the external too. So, you know, once you really pull everything together and really sort of claim yourself. Now, you can do this in any way that you want, some kind of ritual, but I would make some kind of big deal out of it. And, you know, this is the way that I'm moving. I'm doing this now. I'm, you know, even declaring it to the universe, scripting it out, whatever it is. It's going to be important for you. This is the day I choose myself above all else, you know, as I move forward. And doing it this way, because you have a way of really shifting your life like 180. So things can take off for you like that, because all the work has already been done. It's just a matter of claiming it. And also, as we've said in pile 2, with everything that you've done out in the world, all of that healing or all of that integration that's been done over time, and we mentioned this, you know, the image of peeling back the layers of the onion to get to the core in pile 1. This is something that you've been doing too, that energy or that visualization might work for you. It might really help you in that way. But because that's been working over time, and you've been sort of sowing your seeds of integration and out in the external world too, once this energy is solidified, you have the chance to be a magnet for everything that you want, because the energy has been consistently out there. It's not about building up, it's about calling back. And mirroring what it is. It's more about the success coming in rather than, you know, you're always going to be building, you're always going to be expanding, but there's a lot of stuff that you have out there. So whatever it is that you start could be an immediate success, or if you've gotten to a plateau of a point that you are with something, it can take off in dramatic ways and seemingly different ways, but still very successful ways. There's no reason for you to be in control of it. It's more about just being in alignment with it. But this is something that can happen very quickly. So with fertility, you have the hermit, and you've got this too with retreat. So it's a matter of the way in which you do things. Now, we want to be very clear. There's an essence of you that's coming out and wanting to be integrated into the world. So the hermit aspect of yourself is a way in which you've healed before, and also you've done this sort of in private and on your own terms, just because there was no way to compare it. And there wasn't a lot of people or situations that you could pull your healing into, because you wanted to do it your own way, and you wanted to protect that sort of feeling of it as you were moving through it. You wanted to protect that energy of healing, and that was the perfect way to do it. To protect it and to keep it sort of all yours in a way. Now, the hermit is in this energy is a little bit different. As you're coming out and integrating back into the world, the hermit energy is just causing you or wanting you to, again, solidify who you are and really hone in on that. And it's not that you won't ever shift or change your personality. There's a part of you that's a little bit of a chameleon, but that's also can go against you a little bit, because you're so much of a chameleon. You can delve into any kind of situation that you almost lose a little part of yourself. So coming back to really understand who you are, what your traits are, what you stand for, what you're doing, your personality traits, and all of this. Now, the beauty of that is it makes you a clear channel. So, everybody has their own truth, right? Some truths are a little bit battier than others, but they have a right to them, right? But there is a universal truth. There is a universal truth, and that is shifting and changing and integrating into all the other truths that are coming out. And all these truths are coming out because everybody needs to be heard, and it's all wonderful. It's all bubbling up to the surface. We see it as somewhat chaotic, but there's a lot of beauty in that, right? But you have an access to universal truth. Now, there are more people connected to universal truth as we move through what we've been through, and it's been globally very traumatic in many different ways, and it's affected everybody slightly differently, but we've all been in the same boat. In some ways, what the boat looks like is completely different to each and every one of us. It's been a little bit more stressful for whatever, but we've all been in some kind of sort of trauma. But this trauma has activated everything that wasn't working to come up to the surface. We actually needed this to happen. So this is a way for you to integrate and to really understand the world and to stand in your own truth and universal truth. And this is something that's beautiful and also can be heartbreaking, because people who are chameleons, who are able to sort of lose themselves in the world. And it doesn't mean that you don't have a personality. You do. You just need to reclaim it. And that's part of what you need to do to get aligned again and get back into that magnetic energy. But it also means that you're a clear channel, that your truth is actually universal truth. It's not getting caught up in this polarity thinking or the old. There's a lot of thinking, end of days, we've never been here before. To a certain extent, we've never been here before. We've never shifted in the earth before like this, and that's a good thing. But everything that's come up before has always been here. All these narratives are old, they're old. Everybody, we've never seen this before. We've seen it before. We saw it 100 years ago, we saw it 50 years ago, we saw it. It's all old. But the shift that's happening is brand new. It's brand new. It's never been attempted before. It's never happened before. And the clear channels are really showing themselves now and really integrating into that rest of the chaos. So it's really, really important for you to stand your ground and really claim your power in that way, because you've come here to do that, right? You've come here not to sort of signify and hold the old energy and the old narratives, right? You're here to sort of pull us through and shine the light on the new one. So even though some of you feel as though you've gotten lost a little bit, especially recently with all of the energies, and maybe some of you have lost a little aspect of your personality. By the way, that's not true, but the concept of it is true. You're feeling it, so you feel as though it's true. So we're honoring that, right? But there's a reason why. It's because you're a clear channel and you've integrated so much of your energy and your soul into everything. You feel as though you're lost a little bit. But this is a way for you to get back that I am chakra, get back that solar plexus, get right back into you, ground back into your energy, and sort of reclaim, your energy and your power. Now, all you have to do is reclaim it from the energy that you were putting out there, because you were helping the collective. Now you're being asked to help yourself. Put yourself forward first, and then as you integrate back into the world, by putting yourself first, you can actually help the collective, but in a new way, right? Before you were holding light for the collective, and I think we said this in pile 1, but if you have not, A very recent one that I did with what kind of light worker you are, that reading, if you haven't checked it out already, I would, because that might help you get a little bit more a little bit more information and clarity about what kind of light worker you are, because you're very powerful, and the way in which you use your energy is shifting now. So that might give you a little bit of leeway. And also I would urge, if you have, if you did go and check it out, I would, again, in alignment, if you're being called to, I would check it out again and maybe choose a different path, because your energy is shifting. That might also bring you some extra clarity. So with solar plexus, we have the Three of Cups. Yeah, we're coming into the social aspect, your soul family, building communities, tangible new communities based on real freedom from clarity of work that's been done on the interior, building new systems, not even of government, beyond all of that stuff. Building new ways to be based on non-judgment, based on all of these things that we thought were never going to really happen in this lifetime. Because of the patriarchy, because of all sorts of things. All of these things are crumbling. They're going to continue to crumble for the next 10 years. So there's communities that can be built. There's systems that can be built that include absolutely everyone as these systems are crumbling. So this is the energy that you have coming in. This is what you're here to support without a shadow of a doubt. So the way in which you do that is really, and this is going to sound weird, but bear with us and see how it resonates. You're going to say no to the collective right now. Your no is your boundary, is saying no to the collective. You got to pull your energy and pull it back to you. Now, when you're saying no to the collective, you're saying no to that energy. You're saying no to the collective energy. You know, unless it's a pure channel, say no to the collective energy. There's so many different variations about the polarity, us versus them, this, that, and the other. Again, let everybody do whatever they need to do. It's all important that it comes up to the surface. That's it. But it doesn't mean that it's moving us forward in the right direction, right? That's up to them, whatever they need to do. But it's important for you to let go of that collective energy right now and say no to it. Let people be and move forward. It's all going to work out. Again, the macro version of it, it's all going to integrate, and it's important that it's happening and unfolding this way. It really is. And it's important for everybody to come together and really sort of show these systems that, you know, there is power out there. There really is power out there. We can solidify. We've got this. It's not perfect in the execution, but, you know, we're just starting to do this. It's going to perfect over time, right? So this is an important time for you to say no to the collective, unless some of that energy is coming in, which it is. It's a sort of like there's a wall up. And then as you pull out certain parts, certain bricks, the light is shining through, and the wall is still able to stay up, even though it seems as though it shouldn't be able to, the way in which the bricks are being pulled out. But as the bricks are being pulled out, light is being shone through it. And these are the clear channels that are coming in and really being very clear about what's truly going on, right? It's not just what we're seeing. There's so much more. And that's what you are, right? So if that energy is coming in to support you, that's your community one way or another. You don't have to even reach out to them. Their energy is right there. That's totally fine. That's great. But say no to the collective, the denseness of the collective. Again, it's very important that the collective is free to do what they need to do, because this is the way we're moving forward. This is the kinetic energy moving forward and churning. This is wonderful stuff. It may seem chaotic, but it is all going to work out. It really is. Even if there's aspects of what's going on that you don't really understand or you're not in line with, that's fine. That's totally fine. It doesn't matter. They're in line with it and they matter, and it's going to work. It's really, really going to work. And it's, you know, they're the forefront of it. They're going to be a lot more powerful. It's going to make a lot more sense later on, right? So you're not turning your back on anything, but you are saying no to that energy right now while you create your inner being and get that strength going on. So you've got that Queen of Swords. Again, this is just reiterating, have faith in your dreams. You can come back to who you are by understanding who you are and who you're holding energy for. Right now, it's for you. Right now, you're holding energy for not the collective right now. You've shifted that. You are holding energy for yourself and for the universal truth. And that you can do in a beautiful way, coming back to yourself without a shadow of a doubt, and understand and completely give space to everybody that's still doing sort of the groundwork in a way, which again needs to be done, right? So you may not be in line with all of it just because that's not what you're here to do. So you don't need to be in line with all of it because that's not where your energy is supposed to be. Your energy is powerfully placed where it's been placed. So you don't need to understand every single part of the cog and how it works and why they're doing it. It doesn't matter. Trust that it's all working for the collective. Trust that it's all working for the good. You know, it's all coming out in that way. But say no to the collective unless that beautiful light's coming in. Then you've got the Chariot. You can move forward. You've got the Nine of Pentacles, which is a beautiful thing with the retreat. So this is part of the sacred mirrors too, with how you work with the collective. Be very careful about the energy that you let in, especially with all this stuff of, there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of different other stuff going on. It doesn't really matter about the disinformation. It really doesn't matter anymore, because at the end of the day, all the truth is going to come out no matter what. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be you that does it. You don't have to get irate about any of this stuff. You don't have to get into it in any way, shape, or form. So anything that's coming up from the external that's triggering you, it's just pulling you back to say no, so you can pull in your energy and move forward in the way that you want to. Now, gathering your energy right now is absolutely implicitly important, without a shadow of a doubt, because that's how you're going to find your strength. And that's how you're going to move forward. And again, courage be damned. You won't even see it as courage. There's something coming up for you. That's why you've been held in this mold right now, or you're just coming out on the other side of it. A lot of you have been in this sort of void mode where it's kind of frustrating. You feel as though things are happening, but you don't know which way, direction, whatever. This is about you gathering that energy. You do know which way forward. It's going to present, the universe will present a way out for you, or a way forward. It's not a way out, because where you are is actually great. And that's part of the hermit energy too, to gathering your strength. But there will be a tangible way forward. Now, maybe it's just a baby step, but take it and do it. It's all about living in the alignment, but make sure that your energy is all for you. It's not getting fragmented out into the universe and dissipating and sort of tiring you out in a way. Again, it's not up for you to figure out absolutely all of the cogs working together and figure out the macro version of this. The universe has that. That's the universe's job. Your job is pulling back your energy, saying no to the collective, and coming back to you, because you're about to take off in immense ways. And you got to be ready for that. So a lot of the stuff that you put out, a lot of the energy that you put out is going to come back to you in a magnetic way. So be ready to take off. So this is, you've had some downtime. Some of it's been frustrating. Some of it feels as though it's been going round and round and a little bit loopy and sent you a little bit nuts. And that's probably because some of your energy has been leaking out. Pull it all back. Pull it out from the collective. Again, it's not for you to get involved in. It doesn't matter. You do not need to understand everything that's going on as equal parts are working themselves out. That's not what you're here to do. You're here to work in an overseeing kind of way, which is how you've lent your energy before. But now you're here to solidify who you are and step into your role as this beautiful sort of clear channel. Now, there's many different ways that this can manifest, right? And each and every one of you, because obviously this is a general reading, will integrate into your psyche in a different way, in creative ways, in medical ways, in whatever ways, right? In any way. But the way in which you stand in your own unique energy and your authenticity will be enough to fulfill your mission here. That's it. That's all you have to do. So pull back your energy, and then the courage won't even be needed, because it'll just feel like, oh, this is naturally what I'm supposed to do next, because all of your energy is there. So pull it all back. And again, watch the energy that's in and around you. We talked about the collective, but the collective can be also reflected in the people that are around you. What are the situations that are around you? Who are the people that are around you? What kind of energy do they have? What kind of energy are you giving them? Make sure that everything and everyone around you is solidifying where you want to be. Even if you have a smaller amount of people coming in, it's more important that you're selective at this time. Even if you let go of people, or you naturally are in a situation where people just, you know, if you do the job and show up for who you are, people just fall away. You don't have to do anything. You really don't. But it's important that you have a smaller amount of people that have the right kind of energy, because then you are creating space for these new people to come in. Soul family, love, communities, building all of this coming in. They will not have space to come in if you're still holding all of this energy in and around you. So for you, it's saying no to everything that doesn't work, saying no to the collective or the denseness of the collective. Again, it's serving a purpose, so yay you, go be you. But for you, it isn't serving that purpose anymore. You don't need to hold that light. You know what? They got this. They got this. They know what they're doing. They don't need you to do that anymore. You're going to hold the light for yourself and step up in a new way, in a leadership way, in a beautiful way, in this authentic way, and in a way that's recreating your power in a way, because you've always sort of had it out there, pulling it back for yourself. So watch your immediate environment and settle for less people, as long as they have the right energy. That's the most important thing for you. We promise you more is coming in, more energy, more beautiful energy, lots of gifts, lots of opportunities. This is just a holding place for you to get ready to do this. Not even a holding place for you. You've actually come out on the other side of the holding place for you. This is a situation for you to reclaim and say, I'm ready. Once you say that to the universe and you've done the work, and it's not even much work, it's just more of a stepping into and acknowledging the new role, then you are ready to do this and everything can come in. So this is, regardless of when you click onto this, right now we have November, we've got the new moon coming in tomorrow. We also have this beautiful portal coming in, but a little bit of a tense time just before, so don't take on too much energy, on the 10th, but then 11/11, the 11th of this month, creates this beautiful portal for you to step into and claim a lot of this external gifts coming into you, these opportunities. So just hang in there. You've got this. But put yourself first. Put your energy first. Bring everything back. I am. And always ask yourself, what do I want today? What's the best thing for me, for my higher self? My. For you, it is not in any way selfish for you to say that. You've been selfless. Your energy's been selfless for most of your life. If you see it as selfish, fuck it. See it as selfish, but do it. Just make sure you put your energy first, even if it feels selfish. Do it anyway. That's how you're going to get the rewards and step into a new aspect of your blueprint and really fulfill what you're supposed to do and find that connection that you've been looking for. So this is what we have for you, Pile 3. No matter where you are, who you are in the world, we are sending you love and support. Go be you this exciting, beautiful month, no matter when you click on this reading, because it is timeless. We are sending you so much love again, because just a little extra for you. You've absolutely got this. Until we meet again, take care. Bye-bye.